In the hallowed halls of American power, where the echoes of pluralism once defined the nation's soul, a new and chilling resonance is taking hold. We are no longer discussing the fringe. We are documenting the mainstreaming of exclusion. J.D. Vance, the man positioned as the ideological heir to the MAGA throne, has transitioned from a populist messenger to a surgical architect of identity politics. At the recent Turning Point USA summit, the mask didn't just slip, it was ceremoniously removed. In the United States of America, Vance declared to a roaring crowd, "You don't have to apologize for being white anymore." To the casual observer, this sounds like a rejection of woke culture. But to the historian and to the architect of racial hierarchy, it is a dog whistle amplified through a megaphone. It is the formal declaration of white nationalism as a legitimate pillar of the 21st century Republican Party. Let us dissect the vocabulary of this movement. Vance frequently employs the term heritage Americans. On its surface, it sounds like an appeal to tradition. In practice, it is an ethno-nationalist filter. It suggests that there is a tiered system of citizenship, where those with deep ancestral roots, specifically white European roots, hold a more authentic claim to the American experiment than the naturalized citizen or the child of immigrants. This is not a debate over tax brackets. This is not a disagreement on border security. This is a challenge to the 14th Amendment. By framing the nation through the lens of heritage rather than creed, Vance is effectively arguing that the American Constitution is a document for a specific race rather than a universal ideal.
But how does an idea this radical find a home in the hearts of the youth? Enter Erica Kirk and the powerhouse that is Turning Point USA. Following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the organization didn't retreat, it radicalized. Erica Kirk has not only maintained the infrastructure of 9,000 college chapters, she has turned them into a recruitment machine for Vance's 2028 ambitions. Reports indicate 18,000 new requests for chapters following a single speech. We are witnessing the industrial-scale Nazification of campus politics, where young minds are told that diversity is a weapon used against them, and that J.D. Vance is the only man brave enough to hand them back their birthright.
Perhaps the most jarring element of this narrative is the person standing closest to the vice president, Usha Vance. A woman of color, a daughter of immigrants, and a high-achieving legal mind. How does one reconcile a life built on the American dream with a husband who validates a movement that views her very existence as a dilution of the national heritage? When Vance tells critics of his wife to, quote, "eat shit," he presents himself as the protective husband. But this is a calculated performance. He is shielding her from the rhetoric of the far right, while simultaneously crafting the policies that empower that same far right. It is a masterclass in cognitive dissonance. By keeping Usha by his side, Vance uses her as a shield of diversity to deflect charges of racism, all while his speeches stoke the fires of a movement that would, in any other era, deny her a seat at the table.
We must understand that J.D. Vance is not Donald Trump. Where Trump was chaotic, Vance is methodical. Where Trump relied on gut instinct and Twitter rants, Vance relies on Peter Thiel's billions and a sophisticated network of post-liberal thinkers. This is the intellectual dark web moving into the executive branch. Vance doesn't just want to build a wall, he wants to rewrite the social contract.
He is looking back to the 1924 Immigration Act, a law explicitly designed to maintain Northern European racial purity, as a model for a modern America. When hate is whispered in the halls of Yale Law School, it sounds like constitutional theory. When it is shouted at a rally, it sounds like a revolution. Vance is the man who can do both.
The road to 2028 is being paved today, not with bricks, but with the dismantling of democratic norms. Erica Kirk's endorsement wasn't just a friendly gesture. It was the mobilization of a shadow government. With 18,000 new campus chapters, we are looking at a generation of voters who are being taught that, quote, pluralism is a lie and that democracy is a hindrance to national greatness. The real question for the American public is not whether J.D. Vance is a white nationalist. The evidence is written in his speeches and signed in his alliances. The question is, how much of the republic will be left once this fire is finished burning?